What's up? What's going on, Afro Diaspora Nation? We are live. We are back again with another sensational episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the last, obviously. But today we bless you guys with two guests. I understand last one was a little bit different, completely different topic compared to what we're gonna give you guys today here. And we'll start the show with a very, very big surprise because the guy tonight, I know for sure he loves to sing. And every time I heard him sing for the first time, he has such a powerful voice. And Major, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. I think we're gonna be blessed tonight.
We're gonna be blessed tonight.
We're just coming from a poet.
From a poet.
Now we're going to a singer.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the mood's gonna switch up a little bit. But shout out to Marlo for coming out here and giving us a sensational episode. It's a session of chatting, Tuesday chatting time, man. So thank you guys for tuning in. We are live. We're here with our guest of tonight. I will dive right into it. AK Kisinga is in the building. My brother, what's up?
Oh, what's up, my bro? What's up, BK?
Looking great. I see you.
I appreciate that a lot. Thank you so much,
man.
Major. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Shout out to you, first of all, for your newest release. Really amazing song. I get a chance to listen to it. But you know what? I know a lot of people who know AK. AK loves to sing, man, and he has such a powerful voice. So I was wondering real quick before we dive into the questions. Do you guys do a cappella? You can give us a little something, man. You can just you're always prepared.
I'm always prepared. As a musician, it's like a soldier.
Oh,
Every time there's you gotta just be ready and get things going.
Okay.
Well, I'll do a small a cappella for the song that I just released,
Awesome.
which is Chocolate and Flowers. It's a very passionate song. I wrote that song with a lot of passion in me. So I'm just gonna do a quick a cappella.
Let's go for it.
You say that you're lonely, baby, I'm on my way to hold you so closely and make you feel okay. And what you're wearing, we toss it away. Tonight I'll be holding you every other way. You know me now, you know me now. Woo! When the mood is right, I hold you down. Woo! You know me now, you know me now. When the mood is right, I hold you down. I'll bring the chocolates and flowers.
Whoa!
I'll bring the good type of love. I'll bring the kisses in the shower. Then all night making love. I'll bring the chocolates and flowers. I'll bring the good type of love. I'll bring the kisses in the shower. Then all night making love. I want the people to go on social media platforms to enjoy the rest of the song.
Wow.
It's a very nice piece. I like it. Yeah.
Ladies, settle down, man. I know what it is. Wow. I know what it is. AK, you're always bringing the fire and building. Beautiful voice, man.
I appreciate that.
You have a
lot.
wonderful
I appreciate
voice,
it. Well,
brother.
it's the coaching of the people that have surrounded me. As an artist, you really can't get everything done by yourself.
Right.
It's always we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Right.
There's a lot of people who in the background they are not seen, but they make us. They build us. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Well, you know, for sure, I'm 100% sure about this. You started your music, being a musician from church. We know for sure a lot of people who with that amazing voice, it was gotta come from church, man. I know for sure you were, probably the lead vocal singer out there in the church. I don't know, but you gotta tell us about that. But my question to you was just what drew you to music at such a young age? What really got you into that to begin with?
I will say it's the culture that I grew up around. I was fortunate enough to be a part of a family that had singers.
Okay.
I have brothers, I have friends, I have neighbors who sang. And from a very early age, even before I knew what music was, I was exposed to people who sang. So initially, I didn't choose it. It chose me.
Wow.
And then eventually I fell in love with the process. And that's how it all began.
Can you go back to that?
Yeah, it didn't choose.
You didn't choose it.
It
It
chose
chose
me,
you, but
yeah.
you fall in love with
I
it.
fell in love with it, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like a beautiful woman, right? Yeah, I fell in love with her. BK! BK, my man, BK.
Okay.
That's why you got the chocolate and flowers.
Yeah,
there.
that is, yeah.
Beautiful, man. So that's how everything started with you, basically. And then how long were you at that? How old were you at that age when you first started participating in church and practicing your vocals and stuff like that?
I was about 5 when I
years
started
old.
singing in a small family choir and then eventually the church choir. And as I grew, I got exposed to other musicians
Right.
who introduced me to writing and singing.
Mm.
And I will say, even though I sang a lot when I was still young,
Mm.
I have become more of an artist as time has gone by.
Yeah.
So 5 years, 5-ish.
5
Yeah.
years. Okay. And then that was your first release you've ever officially all over platforms. The first song and you just took out.
No,
There were
actually,
more?
there are a lot of songs which I never got to fully share to the public.
Yeah.
And that's because once it's a confidence as an artist, you feel like, have I made something interesting?
Right.
And then,
That's true.
yes.
Yeah.
But as you come across people who are more skilled than you and they believe in you, that gives you the courage to go ahead and share what you have with people. And yeah, so the first release that I did with being backed up by a lot of other musicians was Promise. Then second major release is Chocolate and Flowers, which is just recent. Yeah.
Well, Valentine's Day 2025.
Yeah, it should. Yeah,
You better
yeah, it
wait
should.
for that
Or we
because
might have something else happening at that time. So
Oh,
let's
okay.
just, we never know. Yeah.
very
We never
similar
know.
to
Yeah.
Chocolate and Flowers. or?
It could be even more
A little more
interesting.
dive
Yeah,
into
yeah.
it. Okay. Okay, I like that, man. I like that, man. You know, you
We
know
keep the
it,
surprise coming. We keep the surprise. Yeah.
Well, that's why we here. That's why we have you here, man, because we know you're gonna be full of surprises.
Yeah.
You know. Major, what you gotta say, man? It's good to have AK in the building. You gotta give it that.
Yeah, you know what makes me happy, man?
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this moment. This is
Right.
a really big opportunity for me
Mm.
to be able to interview AK. You know, yeah, because he's one of the people that I've been waiting for on the show. And I don't know how much time I planned about this, but he failed me.
Okay, you be
Well,
hiding. That's what I'm
honestly,
saying.
I
Okay,
have
you've been
been
hiding.
praying. I've been praying that you call me for the interview. So it's the other way around, right? I'm very honored, by the way, to be interviewed by Afro Diaspora because a lot of artists
Yeah.
of work have been here
Mhm.
and they've inspired me to.
We were waiting
Yeah,
for you,
and
man.
you also. BK. I'm a very huge fan of BK, by the way.
I appreciate, man. I'm a huge fan of you, man. You just gave me some nice acapella right now. I'm like, wow, okay. This.
There's more coming. There's more coming. Whenever I release anything new, I'll always share it with Major, with you, and all the people who are watching live this platform. I will always come to this platform whenever I have something new coming up.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Major,
Yeah.
yes.
So let's go back to how we met. You know, the first time we met, I was really shocked, man. This is the first time I see somebody who doesn't get afraid or anxiety when it comes to singing.
That's what. Oh,
AK will be outside and he's already starting to sing. He doesn't need to call you. He'll just sing and then you know, like, the guy's outside. I was like, the first time I was like, who's this? Because I had an appointment with Jordan.
okay.
Yes, it was Jordan's studio session.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I'm coming with someone. I knew, like, okay, you're going to come with somebody. Okay, that's okay. Then I heard somebody singing in the back, like outside. I was like, okay, who's this? What's going on
And,
here?
and AK has a powerful voice. You can hear that voice from miles away.
I truly appreciate that. And it was actually a nice, interesting time to actually meet you at that time. I had been with Jordan and he told me about Major and he said, let me go ahead and actually see Major. Then since then, we have developed a very strong relationship and mentorship too, man. You really mentored me during that time. And yeah.
Wow, man. So here's my concern though. I want to know, how did you get this much confidence? It's like in your career, there is nothing that is called barrier. Like you don't see anything that can block you from singing in front of people, especially, you know, like, because that's a big problem for most of us, right? We get afraid to, oh my man, how was it thinking about my voice and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
But you are confident. You are even more overconfident.
I will say it's because of the people that are around me, the people, like the shoulders of giants that I say I stand upon. Now, when I sing, it's like channeling the energy of the people who I've had sing. I've had Major sing, I've had you sing. Now, when I get that, when I'm singing, it's like I'm just putting myself in Major's shoe. I'm putting myself in your shoe. I'm putting myself in the shoe of any other musician that I've listened to.
Mm.
So it's like standing behind the shoulders of Jah that gives me that confidence to sing, because I'm not the first person to sing. I'm actually continuously learning from other singers.
Wow. Then I discovered later,
Yeah.
because we started working together and on few projects.
Yep.
And then I discovered that, okay, this guy knows a lot of musicians than I do. He knows a lot of songs. You were surprised today
I
that
was
he sang a
surprised
song that
right away. I played one song, and K already got it. I was like, "Oh wow, that actually really does." It really got me on the surprise.
Yeah, really?
I was not expecting that.
So, AKA, why do you listen to music that is not from your generation? I realize that you don't really listen to
That's,
your
uh,
generation, man.
True. I listen
Wow.
to a lot of diverse music, and it's because music itself, it's like a frequency. I don't know if I don't want to sound too like
Yeah.
funny, but music, it's its own soul. It's like it has its own existence,
Mhm.
and sometimes to get that true feeling of music, you just have to expose your ears to a lot of musicians, a lot of genres, a lot of different communities and how they sing.
Mm.
And yeah, so that's how I listen to a lot of other things because of that. Is that I don't know I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a soul. It's like something that is existing in music that that is independent from language, genre. It's just there.
Do you really live in the world that we're living in?
Do I live in this
Yeah. Do
world?
you see yourself in this world, same world as where we are right now? Or do you picture yourself somewhere else, like completely different?
When I'm singing, I feel like in a different state. When I'm not singing, when I'm doing the normal daily activities, I feel very much human. I'm like very much normal. I'm not saying I'm not human. Don't take me up for that. But I feel more alive when I'm singing because it takes me places. It takes me to moments in time and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I'm singing, I feel like in a different place.
Because I think most people are really yet to discover who we really are. When you see somebody, you take them anyhow. But this is a man who I was mixing for him. By the way, this is the beauty about this show. I'm mixing for AKA, and I'm like, AKA, can you send me a reference song so we can, match your song and a reference, just like we do for every song.
Yeah.
You do send me references,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
And AKA sends me Phil Collins.
Oh,
You know Phil Collins?
yeah, of course.
Bro, I wasn't born when that guy started music.
But I'm gonna come out with a question later. Finish up, Major. That's amazing, bro. Because you learn a lot from that. Actually, I tell you,
Yeah.
you learn like a lot from that.
These are
Of
the
all the
people we go
musicians?
to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Now, AK wants me to reference his new song in this generation on that level. I'm
Wow.
singing down. I'm like, nah.
I strongly believe that you could do it because when I think something in me,
Yeah.
I think guided me to the fact that you are the best person to actually bring out that type of feeling. Yeah.
I really respected you for that, man. I was expecting you to send me, new generation, Trey Songz, Chris Brown. They are here, man.
Yeah.
Beyonce, and AK sent me Phil Collins. I was like, okay, wow. I really respected you for that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
a
I have
lot.
to say it publicly.
I appreciate that a lot, and I also appreciate the fact that you took on that and something good actually came out of the project, man. Because
Yeah.
Take me to some experiences you had when you started singing. Actually,
Mhm.
what are some experiences you've had? Because we're Phil Collins, you're suggesting the reference of
Yeah.
the song. That means
Yeah.
you probably must have heard a lot of songs
Yeah.
from back in the days
Yeah.
generation,
Yeah.
and that helped you a lot from progressing where you are today, even
Yeah.
just the vocalist that you are.
Yeah.
Take me to that. What did you pick up from all that, and what did you learn that really helps you today as you make your music?
I see. Now, what I learned was that, like, to begin with, that music itself is a soul of its own. So to transcend and be able to really get that soul, you just have to expose yourself to a lot of music. And luckily, I grew up in Kenya, where the radio stations in Kenya, when I was still a teenager,
Mhm.
they played a lot of global music. Most of it was European, but they also went across different communities. And that exposed me to singers like the ones that he has mentioned, and to many other Luther Vandross, like all the major musicians
Wow.
from different generation onwards. And then since you're young, you're building yourself on what you hear.
Yeah.
Bob Marley and Shaggy and
Yeah, the names he's
Yeah.
bringing up.
yeah.
He's not gonna say Thames.
Yeah, no.
Do you know- wait,
Well, I do know
They-
about Thames. I do know about Thames.
They lost home also back days, man.
Okay. Do you know Thames?
I do know Thames, yeah.
Do you know her songs?
Yeah.
Do you know Omale?
I know Malay, yeah.
You know Omale?
Yeah.
Do you know his song?
Sawa sawa le, na 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 na.
He has
Well,
no idea.
yeah,
He has no idea.
Oh man, will be
I don't
offended,
know
man.
the
Watching
lyrics.
this.
I don't know the lyrics, but I like
Wait. Do you know Tyler?
Tyler Water. Like
Yeah.
Tyler, make me you. Is that the song?
You know-
Yeah.
You know her?
In
Come
that
on.
way, I know.
But let's go now. You know Luther Vandross,
I
right?
do know that, yes.
I love that, man.
Phil Collins,
Yeah, I do know.
One Republic.
I do know them, yeah.
You know them.
Yeah.
Beatles.
I guess it's also because I
That's
grew up
amazing, though.
listening to them when I was still like in Kenya.
Yeah.
Now, for most of the musicians today, there's too much content online. I will say that is also the reason why I would know older musicians, because by the time that we got exposed to what they were singing, there wasn't that much content as it is right now.
Mm.
Right now, if I listen to Tyler, the next minute I'm listening to Mamushi, like, which is
Mm.
Justin Bieber.
yes, there's too much content,
Mm.
so it makes it hard for you to really develop a deep dive into one particular musician. That could be the reason why I'm unable to fully know the modern musicians that we have now. Yeah.
What's your take on this generation's music? Do you because obviously it has transcended so much, like you've changed so much.
Yep.
You know, the fact that you're still able to suggest major when you're mixing your song,
Yep.
those artists is like you're still thinking about what you learned from that, and that's inspired you today. But what do you think about the songs that are making today and how they're dealing with it today?
I see.
How different it is from what you got?
That's a very nice question, because I was also thinking about that not long ago. And I realized that in today's world, we are really trying to create content instead of trying to create art itself. So I write songs for people, and I got frustrated because people will just come and say, okay, this is what is trending. Write me a song about this particular topic that is trending. And the person really does not find themselves. They just want to go with what's trending.
Exactly.
And it ends up being content, which is consumed, and then you want to move on to something else. But true music is an art which it takes time, it matures, it grows. So the modern music that we have, most of it is content rather than the art itself.
Is it true music? According to AK, is it true music?
There are some artists who are truly doing true music. You are
Right.
one of them. Major is one of them. Jordan is also one of them. And there's some who are really focused on content. So every day there's a new song. Every day there's a new song, but there isn't a deep dive into
Wow,
exactly what you're saying here.
that's amazing.
Wow.
That's the answer I was really looking
Yeah.
for.
For the viewers, shout out to Jordan C. If we can help the viewers know, we're talking about content
Yep.
and art
Yep.
itself. What would make a content to become art? If, let's say, for example, or what also would make art to be a content?
I see.
What, according to AK?
I see.
Yeah.
From my perspective, I think the creator of that content or art needs to, first of all, fully understand themselves, understand their position in the society, and then churn out their true self
Wow,
with the
I like
aim
that.
of making an impact, and not just for the sake of, let me just, whatever I'm thinking right now, whatever I've had for lunch, I'm just going to sing about that, but finding themselves internally and then being able to communicate the emotion that transfers it from content to an art. It's like Picasso. It's like they didn't just draw their drawings, or Leonardo da Vinci. Those paintings that they draw, like the Mona Lisa, they took time, slowly by slowly. But if every day they were drawing and then presenting
That's
them,
content, right?
that becomes content. Yeah, that's why when I'm working on a song, I want to dive deep, find out exactly what am I saying. Like,
Mm,
does what I'm saying have any relevance today, tomorrow, and
right.
even in the times to come? Or am I just saying what's trending right now,
Right.
which will fade off as the new trend pops up?
Wow.
Wow.
How? Sorry, Major. How different you think, and what is really wrong with what you think is wrong with the music today, which includes different things that happen now, all your tunes, everything's going on. Does it take away from the hard work that people used to do back in the days, and does it teach people differently? Like music, not like you say, creating content now. Can you be? Is it ruining the music world, or is he, in your opinion, just maybe not showing what music really is?
I think eventually what it does is that it creates a sea of content,
Yeah.
but true musicians will always rise above that sea. Just like back in the days when there was only radio and TV, it was very hard for people to get exposure, right? And the best of the best got exposure, like the Luther Vandross, yeah.
Right.
And in this day and age, there's too much content to a point that it now creates that same situation where it's like another sea. It's like we are back into the black hole again.
Right.
And true musicians will always rise up. It might take long. It might,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's room for growth for everybody who's singing,
Yeah.
as long as they are focusing on that true content. I
Right.
strongly believe eventually they will come up. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
If we take, I will take you to two countries, African countries.
Sure.
You know Fela Kuti?
I know Fela Kuti.
Okay, I know you're gonna know Fela Kuti for sure. I know you live in another world.
Yeah.
If we take Fela Kuti and Davido,
Wow.
who's
Big names.
creating content and who's creating art
Well, I
between
only,
the two of
I
them?
only want to pick on two musicians, to be honest, because all of them have influenced me somehow.
Yeah.
And they are, once again, of a different time and generation.
Yeah.
But the fact that you are comparing Fela Kuti and Davido, yet Fela Kuti was like, died in, I think, in 1998 or 1997, I can't say for sure. The fact that he's still relevant in the conversation that we're having right now indicates that he must
He's
have
the art.
he spent a little bit of time in his art. Yes. And
Okay. So people like Davido have to prove that too in the future, right?
yes,
Like,
yes.
you're not sure that he's gonna get there, right?
Once again, I cannot pick on another musician because I don't. Yeah, shout out to Davido if you're listening. Yeah.
So let's go to let's
But
go to Congo.
I would say Davido has also
Hey!
been inspired by Fela Kuti.
Yes, sir.
obviously, yeah.
Davido has been inspired by
I
Fela
will
Kuti.
assume so. Yeah.
Let's go to Congo.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
You know Lokwa Kanza, right?
Local council, yes, I do.
You know Lokwa Kanza.
Yeah.
And you know Fally Ipupa.
I know Fally Ipupa. Yeah.
If Lokwa Kanza does a concert here and Fally Ipupa does a concert here,
Yeah.
Lokwa is not gonna have people,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Fally Ipupa is gonna be.
Yep.
But Lokwa has been in the industry all his life.
Yeah.
And probably his name is gonna stay there forever.
Mhm.
Probably.
Yeah.
So who do you think does? You're not talking about names. You're talking about art.
Yep.
But you are referring to artists so that people can understand.
Sure. Yeah.
Who do you think between the two of them does art, and who's doing content?
I see. Now, I truly respect Fally Ipupa, and I also respect Local Cancer. But the thing is, there's a difference between distribution and your singing capability as an individual. There are people who sing quite well, but they do not have the ability to distribute their content. So you end up listening to them. You end up listening to the person who has distributed their content much more. In that way, once again, Fally, I strongly respect Fally. Fally, if you're listening, je t'aime, je t'aime. I don't speak French, but yeah. But in that sense, I think
Okay.
Fally has a very strong team that markets the music, what he does, right?
Yeah.
And if that way, it will be easier for him to reach so many people than a great musician.
But when it comes to art itself and content,
Yeah.
the truth is somewhere, right?
Yes, because that one influenced the other one. Like Fally has also learned from
From Local Kanza.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think if you ask him, he will say like, "Yeah, I respect this guy." Yeah.
Even himself, he will say.
Well, I cannot talk on Fali's behalf. Fali, if you're listening once again, I cannot talk on Fali's behalf, but I think
No, I promise you, even himself will say that.
he will say that, right?
Yeah, he does. He does love Local Kanza and he respects him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, he calls him bigger brother.
Bigger brother. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in the marketing of content, you make content and then you are backed up by huge PR firms and they push your stuff. Yeah, you get exposure, but you could be singing things that don't make sense. And then there's somebody else who really is a true musician, but then they're unable to get that exposure. And then there's one who is a good musician and they have exposure. Michael Jackson, you see. Yeah.
Okay, they have both.
Yeah.
And they kind of like have both, yeah. The people
Yeah.
who we truly respect that they actually can sing, and we see them on all platforms every now and then.
Wow.
Interesting.
What do you say to people who somehow still think that Michael Jackson is not a good musician? How would you educate those
Wow.
ones to understand like no,
Big time
you are
question
wrong?
there, Major.
Yeah.
I see. Now, well, as an individual, I respect the fact that every person hears music differently, and so every individual will
Yeah.
always find some sort of inspiration from a particular artist. We cannot all agree that Michael Jackson is a good artist because we don't hear music the same. Now, for me as an individual, I consider Michael Jackson to be a very talented singer. And the fact that he has been in the industry for too long could make us just underestimate him, because some of us, when we were born, he was already a star. Like,
Right.
Michael Jackson was a star from a very early age.
Yeah.
So if you've grown up listening to Michael Jackson, you kind of like lost the vibe. But he was a star. To the fact that the Thriller album is still one of the best-selling albums. Yes, even I think up to date. Yeah. So once again, everybody hears music differently, but he's a very powerful singer.
Cool. Wow.
I wanted to take you a little bit on. You said when people are struggling with someone who knows how to promote the music better,
Yep.
obviously have a lot of chances to increase a lot more.
Yep.
What do you think is the challenge right now that independent artists are facing, mostly, including yourself? What is the most thing they face today, and what could be the improvement they can take, in your opinion?
Yeah, the biggest challenge we face once again is outreach. We do not have enough capital, enough PR behind us. So we
Right.
can't reach so many people, even though we might have good content, good art. Let me
Right.
call it art.
Yeah.
We don't have those resources to bring us to so many people.
Right.
Whereas somebody else who's not a good singer, maybe they just have those resources. How do we solve that? Once again, like I said, it's an ocean where the best will come up eventually. So it's just continue to make music from inside of you. And then even that small community that you end up having, as long as you can fulfill their needs of communication, just fulfill their way, like reach to them, I think that goes a long way. You don't have to be known by everyone.
Right.
If the small group knows you and they appreciate what you do, I will say I'll be happy with that.
But I'm sure a lot of people are obviously not knowing AK now because after doing this acapella too. I'm pretty sure people
I'll
you'll
be,
be more community are behind.
and
you
I
now.
promise to keep on making good music, so that people can continue to enjoy themselves through what I make.
Yeah.
And I assure you, I'll make art, not content. Yeah.
Mm.
So more art for me, less content. Yeah.
Now, growing up in Nairobi, obviously music over there is very different to obviously music, in Hollywood and such thing. How do you think the East African music is, the connection both between East African music and Canadian heritage? How do you think they're balancing together, in your opinion? And how is East African music getting more involved into that mix?
I see. Well, the Canadian society is a very diverse society which includes all of us. So even the East Africans who are living in Canada still have the chance to share what they have and what they make. in that way, unlike, let's say, in East Africa, we don't have a lot of Canadian singers there.
Right.
And the culture that is here, it's supportive of whatever part of the world that you're from.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's the best environment for any singer. And we, as of now, as East Africans, have not yet made a huge impact, but we are making impact, like this platform here, obviously. And then the music that Major makes, the music that Jordan makes, the music that you make will, over time, become part of the Canadian music history, the Canadian music influence, and
Right.
so forth. Yeah.
Do you think you will be accepted in the East African world or music? I'll just say, being based in Canada, but making, in a way, an African music, Afrobeat wise, Afro pop, whatsoever. But you think you'll be accepted because they have the way where they're doing their things differently. So now the question is, yes, you do Afrobeat here, but does it make it some way different from the people actually making music down there? Do you think they qualify the same or?
That's a very good question. I was actually thinking about that myself at some point. And the answer to that question from me is, it's not about Afro pop, it's not about pop, it's about the individual yourself. Because Afrobeat comes and will go, but you can't be just an Afrobeat musician. Like, as an individual,
Right.
what is you as an individual, your style? So the reason why I'm mostly singing, most of my songs are in English. It's not that I don't know how to speak in Swahili. I do know how to speak in Swahili. But
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
because, yeah, but it's because I can channel my emotions easily through English. So in that way, I wouldn't have to say, okay, I'm going to lean my shoulder on Afrobeat to be able to be accepted. Like, as an artist, how do I communicate my emotions? How do I communicate my art? So in that way, I always advise people to just find themselves. You as an artist, despite the fact that Afrobeat is what we are associated, we kind of like, we've been classified mostly as Afrobeat artists.
Right.
As an individual, who are you as an individual? That's what I focus mostly on. Yeah. So whether I'll be accepted, being an individual from East Africa, whether I'll be accepted in North America or in Europe, I wouldn't base that on whether I sing Afrobeat, but I'll base it on the type of art that I bring.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe with
I like-
that,
I like
I
how you
might
put
be
that.
able to, yeah.
I like the way you put that out there.
Yeah, I was struggling with that a lot
Yeah.
as to, should I sing as an Afro artist?
Right.
Should I sing as a purely pop artist? But then I settled on, let me sing how I communicate my emotions. Let it just come natural instead of trying to either be in one category. Let
Yeah.
me just find
Right.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true because I feel like when you make music in America or Canada,
Yep.
you mainly want to attack the Canadian audience because you're here.
Yep.
And you want to build your career based on where you are.
Yep.
So they say AK blows up, and I
Yep.
know for sure
Yep.
you're a very talented
Thank
young
you.
man and you have a very opportunity to get there.
Thank you.
Will your music be more involved in the Canadian culture, in the Canadian charts, or will you want it to be shipped in the East African chart or Afrobeat chart and such thing? What would you want it to be involved? But Afrobeat isn't getting involved now in Grammys and so on, so Hobby's getting there. But where would that stand
I see.
as for AK?
I see. As for me, as AK Kissinger, as time goes by, I will mostly focus on how I communicate rather than what market I target. To be honest, I can say, okay, let me just focus on East Africa or let me just focus on North America. But as an individual, how do I communicate? What is my thought process? How do I create art? Now, music is, in the end of the day, a product. And as a product, you have to classify it to particular consumers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is a problem because we are putting music into some sort of a box, but music is just, it's a soul of its own. Now, that being said, when I make music, I won't care whether it's going to be mostly leaning towards the Canadian or
Mm.
the East African. I just be, how do I communicate my emotions? How do I speak out my art?
Mm.
Yes, and hopefully any human across the world who can listen to it, if it inspires them,
Mm.
it'd be a blessing for me.
Okay. But the future plans for AK, if you had opportunity to go back to Nairobi where you all started to go
Mhm.
perform, that would be the dream, obviously. If you blow up here in Canada,
Yep.
everything.
Well, now we live in a very connected world. It simply means everyone across the world can technically see what I'm doing
Mm.
at any point in time. So
Mm.
if you become successful in one part of the world, you'll somehow, mostly in North America, you will be popular in other parts of the world too. Yes,
Right.
yes. But my dream is not about just to go and perform somewhere where I grew up. My dream is to communicate my emotion. It's not about just being big, or it's about being able to communicate my emotion.
I like
I
how
know
you put that.
I'm very passionate about this.
I love
because-
how you put that like
Yeah.
that. It's,
I'm very passionate about this because what drives me is I just need to share what I'm thinking of. And if I try to categorize myself, put myself in a box, it just doesn't let me express myself that well.
right.
Yeah.
But based on the language and because most of your songs are in English,
Mm-hmm.
do you think you'll be accepted in any East African, or is that a problem? Because most of the songs that are blowing up there obviously has to be in Swahili.
Mhm.
If we're talking about Nigeria, it has to be in English,
in Pidgin?
In Pidgin, yeah.
English. So, do you think that's the main problem that probably
I might-
Afrobeat artists might face
Being
as
accepted back home.
back home,
Mhm.
all sorts of things? Because I've heard some people talk about that and
Mhm.
how difficult it might be.
I completely understand that problem. And for me, I think it really just how you as an artist present your product. There are people in East Africa or in Nigeria who sing just English, and they don't even sing. Like, I think Banky W, is he called Banky W, right? You know Banky W? Is an
Oh yes, Banky W.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's a
yes,
Nigerian.
yes.
Most of his songs are just completely in English. He
Eh,
doesn't sing.
AK knows that singer. That's
Eh,
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Wow,
I
okay.
told you.
Yes,
I told you.
My man, I
He
like
knows
that.
people that you and I don't know. Those we know, he doesn't know.
so there's
That was
some,
wild. Now you caught me off guard there. Yes, AK.
I
I'm sorry,
strongly
man.
believe that it's just about how you as an artist communicate your art.
Right.
You could be singing just the native language. Like Fela Kuti mostly he performs across the world, but he was speaking in his own language, right? Most of the songs he was singing in his own language. He had English too, but he could also sing in his own language.
Yeah.
So, can we be accepted back home? I strongly believe we can if we communicate our
Well enough.
emotions quite well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of songs which are accepted back home and nobody understands what they say, man.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Mi preme gau ne pagao. If you grew up in East Africa, you kind of like know that song, right? And I didn't even know what it says, man. Like, what does it say?
I think Asafo is killing himself right now. You're singing it, Ami.
what does it say? By the way, what does it
It's
say?
Ondi.
Oni,
Ondi.
only.
Yeah,
You see?
they say first Gao is not Gao.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yes.
So I love that song. I grew up really loving that song,
Yeah.
despite the fact that, and it was played back in our home, right? And despite the fact that I didn't know what it
Yeah.
meant. Yeah. So acceptance will depend on what we bring forward to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good way to put it. Okay, really, because obviously when we were growing up back in Africa or wherever, we were also listening to Americanized music.
Yeah, and when
Hollywood music.
we accepted them,
Snoop
yeah,
Dogg,
yeah.
and Chris Brown,
and Tupac, yeah,
Tupac, yeah. That's amazing. That's
Yep.
amazing. I liked how you. Maybe I'm gonna go to you because I know
Yeah.
you're boiling up with that. You want to
Yeah,
attack
you
AK
know.
a little bit.
My
You
guy's
go
in the
easy on
room,
him
yeah.
today.
My guy's in the room. AK, what would you say to the people who think that Western countries and culture are like a cemetery of musicians, especially immigrant? You know, because we come, first of all, I wouldn't say you, but myself, is we come here, we come to the people who inspire us, right?
True. Yeah.
You come now live in a country, in the same country with your legend.
Yeah. Celine
Right?
Dion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, when he was talking about getting an influence in Kenya, Celine Dion influenced everybody over there.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
And she's actually from here.
Yeah, Michael Jackson. So now you come to live in a country where your legend lives too.
Mhm.
And my question would be, how would you think about the people who think, okay, the reason why we don't make it here
Mhm.
is because we don't sing our culture to the people who are already here. So if we sell our culture, maybe sing in Lingala,
Yeah.
in Swahili, sing those African Afro beats and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that, would help you more to trend quickly in
Right.
Canada
Mhm.
than you trying to sing pure English
Mhm.
because they already have it.
Mhm.
What would you say to people like that?
Once again, I'll go back to the same point: is as an artist, how do you communicate your art? How do you communicate? Because music transcends language, it transcends culture, it just goes beyond that. But because if you come with the mindset of, let me force myself to do a particular genre because that's where I'm boxed into, yeah, you can do it, but are you able to express yourself fully? Now, that being said, some of the biggest artists who are African, such as Angelique Kidjo, they got their huge breaks actually just by going beyond like Africa, like coming to perform in Europe and so forth and so forth.
Isn't that they sold that same culture that we are running away from to the world?
So that is true. They did sell it, but also that's just how they communicate what they how they sing. Like that's how they are communicating themselves. Well, another thing is, since we're living in a very global world. By the way, this is my take. I'm not a professor of music, so let me not
Yeah.
be crucified for this. This is my take. If you feel you can communicate your music quite well through the our African heritage, go for it. There is always room for diversity in music.
Right.
But if you feel like the way you can communicate a piece of song requires you to sing in a way that most North Americans can understand, go for it. Just how you communicate as an individual. From my perspective, everybody's different. From my perspective,
So if we're gonna go back there again.
Sure.
If language
Mhm.
and culture is not 100% the problem that we are facing
Yep.
as we live in countries like Canada and America.
Yep.
For us to make it,
Mhm.
if the language is not the
Yep.
problem, then what do you think is the problem? Is it race or is it the system that we don't understand? How it works over here compared to how it would work
Sure.
back
Yeah,
home?
yeah.
Because
Mhm.
some people think there could be superstars back home,
Mhm.
and when you come here, okay,
I see.
you're not even close to be a superstar,
I
right?
see.
So, what do you think would be the major problem that is blocking almost everybody? Because we can say
Mhm.
we want to express our feeling in our own way, but you're just expressing it to 12 people,
I see.
right?
Yep.
Just the people surround you.
Yep.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But what do we do so we can also be able to express the same art,
Mhm.
but now to the bigger audience?
I see.
Just like Michael Jackson did.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, this is once again my take. I'm not a guru. This is just my take. Now, I strongly believe that if, okay, most of us who come here, we also fall into the same category of content making individuals. So then what worries us is that even though we're just making content, like we're still making content. Even if we're just making content, but it's in our own language. You come here and you sing a song thinking that it's because it has some African heritage, it might be accepted. But in the end of the day, it's still content. Like it still it's still just, it's even your own people can't really like the song what you're singing. But if you focus on truly making something that people can really love, I think you can succeed even here. Most of the singers who are here, me being one of them, we have fallen into that category of making content instead of true art. And then we get buried into the content that other people in North America make.
Okay, so we have to study what people would love as art.
No, we first of all have to study ourselves. Like, we have to study ourselves. Most of us really are rushing to produce content. I'm not judging anybody, but from what I've observed, and being a songwriter, I get a lot of people asking me to write songs, but they really haven't sat down to understand themselves. So they just want to make something. And it could be it's a heritage song,
Yeah.
but there's no meaning to what, it doesn't have to be meaning, but there's no soul to that. So when you come here, it's end up being content and it's just parted up with the rest of the content. But if you come with a genuine piece that people love, it just floats. It will float. It doesn't matter what language you sing. We sing Despacito, right? You know, we all sing Despacito, right? I don't think you know what it means. I don't know what Despacito means. I have to Google. But so Despacito, obviously, it's by Daddy Yankee, and I can't remember the other musician. It's a song which it's a popular song across the world, but it's a song which does not conform to, let's say, the Western culture or the North American culture and so forth. But it's accepted globally. Now, will he say that, okay, I've also failed to struggle because I've also failed to succeed because I was singing in my native language and so forth? No, the music itself, even though you don't understand what it says, you love it. Yeah? So that's the thing, because we find ourselves first in that way, regardless of what environment we are in. And I believe we can always prosper.
Great.
Once again, I'm not a guru, so
Yeah. Now,
I'm not the musical legend. I'm just
no, okay.
yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm not a guru, BK. I'm just a guy.
I understand
Just
that.
I'm not a legend. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, actually.
No,
I could be wrong. Yeah,
You're good, man.
I could be
You're
wrong.
just making me laugh out here today, man. Yes, man, Joe.
I'm saying this.
I
From,
can't stop, man.
I'm saying
Take us
this
on, man.
from a perspective of a music writer. I get a lot of people who come and tell me, write me a song, but deep down, there isn't any particular drive. They just want to make a song.
Right,
And then the problem is they make that song, it doesn't have any emotion to it.
right.
And then it goes on YouTube or whichever platform that it goes to, and it's buried by YouTube videos, skits and so forth.
Too much stuff over
Babies
there.
running around and cats running around. And
Yeah.
yeah. But there are people who spend a lot of time really focusing on honing their skills. And when they sing, regardless of what language they're singing, you listen. You listen. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, for the people obviously who are watching,
Yep.
people who want to be writers, musician writers, obviously,
Yep.
who are struggling with the writing. What do you think is the step of writing music, to the point where you feel is you're creating music, you're creating art, not just not just content. What do you think the steps of writing that music is, according to AK?
I will say it's, first of all, just stop writing and go and find yourself as an individual. It's like just writing a book. I've never wrote any book, so I can't compare, but I will assume this is how it feels like writing a book.
Right.
You don't just take a pen and start writing. You just have to, first of all, leave the pen and just walk around, just find yourself in this chaos. The world is a very chaotic place. Find yourself. When you find yourself first, you have something to always lean back to. So now when you say, okay, I want to write something, you're not trying to force, it just flows by itself. Once again, I'm not a musical genius, but I would assume that's what makes great artists based on what I've heard from people like, I think when they were making the song, there's Michael Jackson, there's a group of musicians who met. Quincy Jones was actually the director of that song. I think it's not Heal the World. I think it's We Are the World. I think there's
Talking about We Are the World.
I think there's one song that a lot of musicians were part of it. Yeah.
We Are the
Yeah,
World.
We Are the World.
Yes. And the creative process behind that was they just sat down and first of all just find yourself, and then that's how it flew. They were not trying to like force it. Yeah. From what I heard. Yeah. So how do you make good music? I think first of all finding yourself, not rushing to make something, but first of all finding yourself. Yeah.
So
Oh,
then
really?
AK believes if content creators too can find themselves, then they can make art.
Yeah, I strongly believe so. Yeah.
So right now, if you are watching and you are a content creator and you know that you've already found yourself, so already you're making art.
Well, you can just say like directly that way because we have to see what you make after you found yourself first of all to determine whether it's art or
we,
not.
have to,
We have to hear what you're making, yeah, to understand.
we
Yeah, yeah.
have to be able to see
Yeah, yeah, yeah. After
what
you
is
found
that.
yourself, what you what you made
So you don't
you
lie
might be
to
wrong.
us.
Huh? Huh? Yeah. That's my take. I think. Yeah. Yeah. So I strongly believe.
Come on, man.
I strongly believe anybody who's driven by like something that is inside eventually will find more meaning in music than
Yeah.
just doing it as a trend, than doing it as something that other people do for fun or for like for fame or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
AK,
Yeah.
I know BK is about to go to the end of everything,
Yeah.
but I want to ask you one
Yeah.
thing. And this to help the viewers.
Mhm.
Do you think beyond the fact that somebody BK, you okay?
I can't, man.
You love
Yeah,
AK.
like
BK, BK,
AK killing me
BK, my
today,
bro,
man.
man. Yeah.
Shout out to AK, man. Come on.
So yes, beyond the fact that somebody could find themselves,
Mhm.
there should also be science behind a song for it to be called art. Because art is not just art;
Oh.
there's also science behind it. you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a music, like rumba.
Yeah.
We talk about rumba, right? I know many people love rumba,
Yeah.
but rumba has been a repetition now
Oh, really?
of the same thing.
Oh, wow.
Of course.
Oh.
Right? It's kind of like a repetition of the same thing.
Oh, really?
You will find out,
Hmm.
and I'm not here to name names.
Yeah.
You'll find out that the entire album is just the titles of the song that changes,
Wow.
but the rest is one thing.
Oh, wow. That sounds. Oh.
If you go to most Afrobeat and you sit down deeply, you will find out that it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Titles of the songs
Yep.
change.
Mhm.
Maybe some meaning change, but they're still repeating the same thing.
Oh, wow.
But the music, the what's behind the music is kind of like the same.
Hmm.
Now, but some musicians somehow get tired of what we call triad chords, right?
Oh, really?
The progression behind your music. Now, my question would be,
Mhm.
do you believe that that theory that surround the song is what makes that what you're calling art to be really deep art and then being able to stay there forever? Because every time people go back to that, they experience something new,
Mhm.
right? There is a new experience every time you listen to it
Yeah.
than the music that comes and passes, like
Mhm.
songs.
Mhm. I
There's
see.
a lot of songs that comes, you
Yeah,
listen
they come
once
and they
and
go,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what is this?
Yeah.
Right? Do you believe that that's what you're trying to say? But again, you are saying it in a way of trying to find yourself, because finding yourself could also mean
Mhm.
study,
Yeah,
expand your knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because most musicians, again, who are trending, they really are not musicians.
Mm. You know,
Yeah,
right?
from
You
what
know,
I'm hearing, yeah.
They might be
yeah.
singers, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have no idea about music.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you mention names, Major?
Eh?
You mention
Give
names?
us an example. I'm just joking.
He's gonna give us examples of it.
Give us an example.
Yeah, I can name a lot of musicians who are not musicians for sure.
Mhm.
But I'm just trying to know if that's what you mean, but in your own way of saying, find yourself. Because even content creators will tell you, find yourself.
True, yeah. If I understand the question correctly, you're asking if like the science, if there's a science that can make
Behind a good song.
okay.
Yeah.
Now they truly cool. I cannot say for sure. Once again, I'm not a music guru, so I mean, let me not be. From my perspective, I will say, indeed, there is a science, but as we've observed, you could make one music that is more successful than other musics, right? Like, not all Michael Jackson songs are hit songs, even though the same people were involved in making those songs. So it's not just about the sequence of how you arrange the music, the tempo, the bars, and how you put the instrument. There's a soul to it, which makes it's that energy that the artist had when they were singing that song, that feeling of the moment that they had, which makes that song become unique. So, not just the science itself, because we've not had continuous success even from musicians who have top chart, like Despacito being an example. If they come together and they sing another song, that song has 8 billion views. But if they sing another song today, it wouldn't be surprising that if it goes way less than that, even though it might be made by the same people in the same studio with the same equipment. So there's all of that kind of feeling, and which can't be, I would say, can't be surely analyzed scientifically. It just comes from inside. We have best scientists right now, but we cannot just paint the Mona Lisa, because even though you have the tools to paint Mona Lisa, it's just a particular type of energy that's
behind it.
From my take, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Don't you also think most musicians are just rushing to release?
Most musicians, that's content, they are rushing to release. But once again, maybe some musicians, that's how they make a living. So that's how they keep their bills running.
Yeah.
Now, I don't subscribe to that myself. I want to make a living through other ways, and then seeing what comes out of me. In that way, I don't have that rush to sort of just make something up, which dilutes dilutes me as a person, and also just creates too many things in the market which have no meaning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
my take. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a really good one. I was wondering if like Major say, musicians are rushing to release.
Yeah.
As for AK, when do you think an artist is supposed to know this is the right time where I have to release this song? What time do you think they should? What are the things they should know to be able to tell this song is ready to go?
To be
Because
honest,
if it goes by feelings, then
Yeah.
you might release it next week because man,
Yeah.
I have to release a song in 2 weeks, man. I'm drying up a little bit. I gotta release. Right? So that pressure comes upon a lot of artists, and if they face a lot of that. So what do you think is the key to follow in order to get your songs on that level? Was I'm ready to go.
That's true. Now, there's a scientific way to that. Because nowadays everybody is exposed to information, like too much content. So there's a scientific study on how to the best time to share your content to the public. Now, deep down as a person, how do I determine whether I should release a music or not? It's just intuition, just like you will make a business deal, whether to take a risk or not. Intuition. Do I feel like people really need to hear what I've made? Do I feel like it's ready? In that way, go ahead and do it. But then I also have to be timing. Like if there's any major event that is happening across the world, such as elections, such as maybe some wars and so, it is very easy for what you're making to be sidelined. So I kind of keep an eye. Yeah. And to be honest, I don't really have the answers right because it's just a game of luck then. Yeah. But first, I will make decision based on my intuition. Second, I'll try to find a time when the world isn't going through a very huge type of thing that everybody's attention is. Yeah. From my take, yeah.
That's amazing. That's exactly why we have AK up here today.
Yeah.
You know, because you are such a great vocalist, man, and I'm hoping I know we're gonna be hearing a lot from you, a lot of
I appreciate
upcoming
it.
tracks.
As long as I live, I'll just continue to produce art, which I'll share with everyone who I come across with. Yeah, even the crazy people that I come across on the street, I'll just share with them what I have. I think music is meant to be shared. You know, I
like that, man.
Sinja.
That's why I like that. But man, AK, man, I'm just grateful. First time, you're coming out to the show, man. Major told me you be trying to come out here, but we just didn't know when you're gonna come out here.
Pleasure,
But you
Major.
finally did.
Yep.
We were very happy, and you gave us an acapella.
Oh.
You know, so that's just beautiful right there. My last question to you.
Yep.
What inspired you to make chocolates not flowers?
I see.
Why came up with that?
I see. I think we're living at a time when this is once again my personal take, at a time when we don't really, people complaining that intimate communication is becoming a problem. I don't know if guys struggle from this, but we don't really know how to communicate to our female partners, right? So like giving them that, telling them what we are thinking, we don't really, there is a saying, not me, I cannot say talk on anybody's relationship, but I think most ladies want men to be more romantic, men to be more open to communicate how they feel,
Yeah.
and to just like create that passion that leads to the intimacy.
Yeah.
So the song was just a way of me being able to communicate my sort of romance in that way. Yeah,
You're a romantic guy.
I hope so. I cannot conclude that I am, because you have to ask.
Lady you dress well, man. You look like a
Well,
romantic
that
person.
does not guarantee romance. I could be
Come on,
dressing
you
well
can,
because
if
there's
you carry yourself
somebody.
like that, if you carry yourself, have a nice, glasses, you got a dress shirt going on nice. You're only missing some roses right there.
I think romance just goes beyond the visual looks of a person. This is once again my take. I think mostly from what I've heard friends of mine who are ladies say, it's just being able to find that other person and make them feel appreciated, show them how you love. Well, looking good plays a role, but that emotional connection plays a bigger role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
definitely gonna be telling it through your music, anyways,
Yeah.
because your music
Yeah.
is there bumping, and it has a lot of message behind that too. Yes, Major, I really, you were about to say something before I close out the show.
Yeah.
That's
I love that song too, man.
I appreciate it. I
Yeah,
appreciate it a
amazing
lot.
song.
Yeah.
really good song.
That's a great song. Just want to know. Yes, you already explained the motive behind you writing the song.
Yep.
I want to know, when you write songs like that, like at that level, what's your audience that you target? Like, is it young people, or what age do you feel like if this age can be reached, then I'm okay? Or do you want that song like that to be channeled to everybody? Because if you listen to that song closely, there's a lot of things in there, right?
There's a lot of things, yeah.
Yeah. So but you as an artist, what's your audience there?
I see. Now, that's a good question.
I wish we could play the song on a show, but again,
Yeah.
we're
I
gonna
see.
be censored here.
Now, I strongly believe everybody who falls in love with a person, every human being somehow falls in love with someone, and it doesn't matter what age group, the old, the young. Well, the pretty young ones, those ones are out of the topic, but
So it's explicit, right?
it is
Somehow.
explicit at some level, yes. But even if you're old and you have someone that you care about, that you love, and you want to communicate to them your intention, I think it's a song that can help you. But the target audience, I think it's mostly individuals who are 40 all the way down to 20s and so forth. But I wouldn't stop
Oh, so between
anyone.
20 and 40, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I wouldn't stop anyone from listening to it, because I believe everybody has someone that they care about. And if that song helps them express themselves,
Cool. Wow. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Well, I'm definitely excited to hear a lot more from AK, and I know every viewer who tune in today will be
Yeah, they're
excited
already
to see
sending so
what's
much
coming up.
questions right now.
Yeah, there you go. So we're gonna now is the time we're gonna have for you is little yes or no questions,
sure.
and my guy will punish you a little bit with that.
Okay,
So be ready,
sure.
AK.
Bring it on.
And
Bring
you're
it
gonna
on.
be having a lot.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
What do we got for yes or no questions today, mate?
Are we there?
We're there.
Once again, yes, no questions don't come from us. We just help people to express their feelings. So we do send a picture of an artist into WhatsApp groups, and they tell us what was the artist once they're on the show. And today, AK has some questions.
Mhm.
So here's the number one question. AK seems to be a guy who loves art, but he's more romantic. Therefore, AK would wish to be invited to PDD's party? Yes, no.
Definitely no. Thank you. No.
Why? Why you wouldn't go there if people want you to go there, man? PDD has money. He will he will produce you. He will do everything for you, man. Come on.
As of now, I will pass that opportunity. You host a party, I'll come.
Oh.
Yeah. You host the party, I'll come. Yeah.
Why? Can you give to our viewers what's the point? Why you won't go to PDD's party?
I know.
Are you afraid
I'd
of
rather spend
anything?
time with you guys. I would rather spend time with. Yeah, BK. If you have a party, please invite me. Yeah,
Of course.
Let me.
Of course.
All right. If I can make a party, yes.
Yep.
And mine will be a different party.
Definitely. I'll rather attend yours. Yeah.
Okay. That's better then. I guess you guys get what you wanted from that question.
Wow. Thank you.
You said no. The man said no, man.
Other question is this: yes or no? AK is one of the artists that don't want to go perform in Kenya because, according to them, Kenya never treated them well.
No.
Wow.
I would want to perform anywhere in the world because this is not a national thing where, like, Kenya is made up of 48 million people.
Yeah,
So
but
it's-
those you lived with, did they really give you what you deserved?
They did. They
did?
gave me what
Are
I
you
deserved.
proud
yeah.
of the time you spent in Kenya?
Definitely, I am. No. In fact, I have to ask myself, did I give them what I was supposed to have given them in that way? Yeah. But they did what they gave me the best they could.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would
Nice.
love to perform in Kenya. And I will perform in Kenya.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh,
what
you
I'm
will
talking
perform in Kenya.
Yeah, I must
So-
perform in Kenya. Yeah.
So it responds to your question then.
Oh,
You're concerned about him going
back,
to.
I want
Yes,
him to
yeah.
go back home.
I will perform anywhere in the world, and I'll perform in Kenya too. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'll perform a Swahili song in Kenya.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just perform the same song like Chocolate and Flowers.
Yeah.
I go in Kenya and I sing all the
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I'll perform in Kenya.
Nice one.
Okay. Here's another question. Yeah. In America, they're having elections very soon.
Yep.
And musicians are really helping people to, like their followers,
Yep.
to vote for a certain candidate. And AK will support Kamala Harris if he would advise his people to vote. He will advise them to vote for Kamala Harris.
No, I will not do that because I do not endorse using the platform that people have given me to share my music to convince them to make decisions of political individuals, because I strongly believe that those are more serious things, because the destiny of the people of America goes beyond just music. And therefore, the power that the leader has is a completely different thing than me as an artist. So I cannot endorse using my platform to give political recommendations.
Wow.
So it's a no.
Very good thing. Well said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's another one. The last one.
Sure. Good.
For sure.
Yeah.
Don't be sweating it, okay?
No, it's okay. Bring it on. Yeah, it's okay.
Come on, man. Keep it calm.
Yeah.
They're savage, right? You got it, man.
Bring it on.
So here's one. This one is about a complaint.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. The community, the Congolese, the African community, particularly the Congolese community, is complaining that people like AK, yes, they are artists, African artists, or maybe let's say at the racial level, black artists, but AK will never, and they never seen him in any meeting, like a community meeting or anything, or any gathering, just because AK doesn't care about them, and he just doesn't interest him. Yes or no for that?
No. If I've not attended any meetings because I've not received an invite. Have you sent me an invite, anybody? If I've not attended any meeting, I've not received an invite. If there's any meeting that's happening that involves African artists with an African heritage, I will definitely love to be a part of it. Yeah.
Usually it's not artists, but a community.
Yeah. Well, even the
do?
community themselves, I've not really seen anything at my door that's like an invitation.
So they should invite you, right?
Because how will I know what's happening? How will I can't even see that. I don't even know where the events are happening. I don't even know that there's an event happening.
Should put your email down.
I
They'll
definitely
reach-
should do, yeah.
They'll reach you out.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So right now you are not
Writing
part
good
of
music.
any kind of like community
Well,
till you are invited, right?
because I don't even know the
Who? Come on.
places to find
Who
them.
wouldn't invite AK? Who wouldn't invite AK?
Well, maybe.
Even did you invite you to the party?
Ah,
But you
no,
want
You-
Well, you want to attend though.
But I would surely love to attend. Like if there's any community
Community
I would
organization.
really love to attend. Yes, so that I can learn and be a part of it.
Therefore, okay. Do you go to any African church?
Come on.
No.
You go to-
Why? Oh, you don't go to church. You're not a church guy.
I think every individual, for me as a person, I'm in my own journey of finding myself and finding my spirituality. So as of now, I don't go to any church. Yes.
Good. I think we're done.
Okay. I'm just very happy to have AK in the building.
It's also, I'm very
telling
happy
you.
to actually having been
Yeah.
hosted
Yeah.
by the two of you. You've really challenged me and you brought out the best in me.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I know you've just started showing people what you really can do. Exactly with that first song you guys heard from Acapella right here. Chocolate and flowers. Or was it the other way around? Flowers and chocolate?
No,
I think
it's chocolate and flowers. You got it
There
right.
you go. Both of them together. You gotta have both of them
And
anyway.
it doesn't
That's-
actually matter, provided it's those two things.
gotta
That's
have
the most
chocolate, you gotta
important
have
thing. Yeah, you
flowers.
gotta have,
Yeah.
And candles. I should have added candles by the.
It's okay.
Like,
You got
yeah.
you got another song coming up. So
Yeah,
candles will
I
be
like
later
candles.
after that.
Yeah, it'll be chocolate flowers and candles.
Actually, that song itself has candles inside. So
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
yeah, it's a bro. The bridge of that song, though,
I
you will
know.
love.
Know
I
me
recom-
now, you know me now.
Yeah,
When the mood is right, I hold you down. You know me now, you know me now. When the mood is right, I hold you down. I'll bring the chocolates and flowers. I'll bring the good type of love. I'll bring the kisses in the shower. Then all night making love. Thank you so much,
Wow,
Major. That was a very
amazing.
nice.
You wanted to hear it almost one more last time.
did you
I
hear
know
that
you-
voice, right?
Of course, of course. Hey,
Good.
but AK, we appreciate you for coming joining us today, man. It's been absolutely amazing. We're looking forward to have you again here when obviously most singles are dropped out there, and watch out for this email because now you'll be invited to the party. That's for
Definitely.
sure.
I should show up. I'll show up.
Now you show up.
Yeah.
The right ones you show up.
Yeah.
You have to make sure which party, right?
We have to make sure which party you show up.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah.
He doesn't want to go to
Not
LA.
parties with baby oil, huh? No parties with baby oil.
No baby oil.
If baby oil is at your
Come
party,
on,
then
man.
do it yourself.
Look,
Yeah.
AK, we're gonna give you a platform. We're gonna give you a place, man, to just let people know where they can find your music
Yep.
because that's
Yeah.
important. I want to know where you can find your music, even though I already know, but the
Yep.
people
Yep.
gotta know where to find you, man. So it's all yours, man. Let them know where you can get AK.
My music is always available on all streaming platforms. YouTube at AK Kissinger. Instagram, it's once again at AK Kissinger. I'm the only Kissinger that is currently like singing. Other Kissingers are not singing. And Spotify and Apple Music is just AK Kissinger. And you can even search me by my songs, such as Chocolate and Flowers. And there's another song I did, which is also called Promise. You can search those up and you'll see me, this handsome looking guy.
Wow.
Handsome friends here.
Come on, man. AK,
Wow.
one more last question. It's a yes
Sure.
or no question.
Cool, sure.
This is last for me. This is the last one for me right here. AK,
Yep.
are you gonna in the next 3 years?
Yep.
Are you gonna be number one on the charts of Kenya?
You know, what
Number
charts
one
on
on the
chart?
chart list of the
In Kenya.
musicians, because we got pretty good musicians in Kenya right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Are you topping that chart? Are you gonna be number one on there? Are you
God
aiming to be
willing,
there?
God willing, yeah. My aim is to be. It's not just about being number one on any chart. It's not. Is it a yes or no question, or is it?
Or you can go ahead and
It's
People need
about
to know.
being able to communicate my art. Yeah. So
Wow, okay.
I won't feel full satisfaction if I'm number one in the chart, but I'm singing garbage.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't serve me any better.
Yeah.
But if I'm not even in the chart, but I have a small group of people who love what I'm doing and it's helping them in some way, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any top 3 Kenyan musician right now you like?
I always like Nyashinsky, I always like Sauti Sol,
Okay.
and I always like
Nice.
Willie Paul, yeah.
I told you.
Oh,
Those are his level.
oh wow, that's amazing. That's
Thank you
really
so
good.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, man, appreciate you guys for tuning in. This was AK. It's a session of AK, man. Really glad to have you here.
It's my pleasure
Spending the
too.
night with us. We do appreciate you. But you guys don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow my guy AK for more music coming up. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna sign out. We're gonna let everybody go, man, because it's been a sensational episode today. Join us next week again as we go live on Afro Diaspora Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share to the friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend to share to the channel to grow the family, man. Follow OC Music on Instagram where you can get booked for the next show. I'm your host, Baraka. You know what it is. Barbara Shaw coming out 2025. I can't stop promoting. But on my right side, we got Major McGee. We're signing out today. My guy.
Yeah.
You were good today. I'm proud of you, man. You didn't go too hard on me. I like that.
The details.
Yeah, the details. I'm your host, Baraka. Obviously, on my left side, we got the sensational AK singer in the building. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
We appreciate you, Afro Diaspora Nation. We'll see you guys next week. We out. Peace.
Peace.
There you go. That's a wrap.